On most cars nowadays, replacing the brake rotors is almost as common as just putting brake pads on. The rotors aren't made that thick. Trucks are made a little thicker. These are pretty nice and thick, but the rotors, because these brake pads have so much metal in them now, they actually wear the rotor a lot more than they did in the old days. So as you wear all that brake pad material down, you're actually wearing some of the brake rotors. So rotors, you can get rotors for anywhere from 25 to 50 bucks usually, and it's really worth it because you're gonna make the brake pads last a lot longer. Most rotors will come with this kind of slimy stuff on it. That is actually meant to prevent them from rusting while they're waiting for you to buy them. Quick little spray of brake clean on them. We'll remove that. If you didn't remove it, the first bunch of times braking, you might smell something or see some smoke. That's just that material burning off. Okay, we got that in there. Now let's take a look at the caliper. This is the pad with the clip on it. You basically got to pop that pad off. There's a clip there. If you just pry up on it, pry up on this clip, it'll come right off. Now we're going to look at the caliper, make sure it's looks okay, make sure the piston, these pistons are phenolic. They're not metal. They're made like that for a reason. There's debate on whether the steel ones are better or not, but these phenolic ones, it has a lot to do with heat and heat dissipation and boiling the brake fluid, stuff like that. So these are, even though there's arguments both sides, these seem to do just fine. So if you look at the brake pads, you want to memorize which one goes where. Also, it's kind of easy because the clips, if you look at these clips, this clip actually goes into the piston. It's fairly obvious, but you know, the more you look at it before you take it apart, the easier it could be for you. There is tabs on these brake pads. These little round bubbles, they need to go into the holes in the corresponding holes in the caliper, or you're not going to be able to get the caliper back on. And you can do this by hand, or you want to avoid prying the clips much now because they're brand new. You can if you need to. You can also just kind of smack them into place lightly. Like so. Make sure they're seated. You can hear it kind of pop. Both are seated. The pad's nice and flush against the rotor. Make sure the bolts are pushed in so you don't block that. Then remember that clip. If you put the clip, slide the rotors on and put that clip down there first, like so, you will prevent fighting this clip later. And trust me, lots of people fight these clips. But think about it logically. Put the clip in place first. Make sure these little tabs for the brake pad are down and engaged into the slide, and then the top will slide right into place. Okay, one thing that will help you tremendously, especially with calipers or pads that have clips, is to put a lug nut on the brake rotor. If the brake rotor isn't sitting where it's supposed to be sitting, you're gonna have a hard time lining everything up. So just screw a lug nut on. You can do it by hand. Just make sure it's on nice and snug, and you can see the rotor seat right up against the hub, just like it's supposed to. You can move it. As you turn it, it'll loosen and fit right on there. Okay. Alright, the rotor's on there and seated. And remember what I said about the clip. You slide the clip in first. Make sure this tab and this tab are above that slider that we cleaned. And then you're gonna slide the top in. You may have to move the pad up and down a little bit, which is normal. You actually can pry down here, and if you saw that, the top fell right into place, and so did this one. You may have to move the caliper around a little bit to get these bolts in, but Should be pretty darn close now. And again, don't tighten it up all the way. Just make sure you get them both snug. Make sure everything's lined up right. Look at it again. Make sure these two tabs are there. Make sure these two tabs are there. Make sure this clip is in the right place. If you don't do that and you tighten these down tight, you can break an ear off the cow. You can break something. So go slow, think about it logically where everything's supposed to go, and then tighten down the rest of the way. And move the rotor, make sure it spins okay. You're basically done. If you really weren't doing a video and talking about every step, you could literally have your front brakes and rotors replaced in under 30 minutes. If you had a lift and you'd have to jack the vehicle up, you could have it done quicker than that. It's very, very easy, very simple. You'll save yourself a lot of money doing it yourself. And please don't forget, get your parts at autopartsdirecttouYou.com. We do these videos for free. We do the labor for free. We basically want to show you that you can do this. We love do-it-yourselfers. We are all do-it-yourselfers. And if we can help you guys, you know, see how to do it and show you tips and tricks so you can do it yourself, it'll make you feel comfortable doing it, and it'll save you some money. And in return, all we ask is you look at us for parts. We sell all the major brands. And we're a wholesaler. We try to be as cheap as we can, we're definitely half the price of a dealer, and most of the parts stores, Napas and AutoZones and Advances, we usually are a lot of times half the price of them too. So go with us. We're a wholesaler. We appreciate your business, and thank you very much.